Madam Secretary, we just showed our viewers exactly the reality of what's playing out, and then the rhetoric of the Democratic leaders, and it seems to tell two different stories.
Yes, I've encouraged the governor of Oregon and of Illinois and that attorney general should go down and spend some time with our ICE officers and with our Border Patrol officers and encounter the protesters that they do, because these individuals are shouting hateful things at them, threatening their families, putting their hands on them, and acts of violence are occurring on a regular basis. So they're just sitting far away in safe facilities, some of them with protective detail, which is a very different situation than trying to clean up the streets and help protect the families and the victims of these criminals that have been roaming for far too long.
So during the break, you told us that there are actually some individual agents who have been identified and have bounties placed on their heads. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we had a really strange incident yesterday where we had a caravan of 10 different vehicles that were following our Border Patrol agents and officers that were out there on the streets of Chicago. And they had followed them and gotten them cornered, pinned them down. And then our agents, when getting out of their cars, they tried to run them over and had semi-automatic handguns on them, to where our agents had to protect themselves, and shots were fired, and an individual ended up in the hospital that was attacking these officers. Very dangerous situation. And then in that situation as well, this individual had threatened them previously and had told them that they all needed to go down and shouted expletives at them. So our intelligence indicates that these people are organized. They're getting more and more people on their team as far as attacking officers, and they're making plans to ambush them and to kill them. We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them. They've released their pictures. They've sent them between their networks, and it's an extremely dangerous situation and unprecedented. So we've put protective detail around those individuals, changed some of our operations to keep our officers safe. But make no mistake, this isn't just about, protesting free speech, or that they don't like that people out here are upholding the law of our country. They're actually going out there and saying, kill these people and we'll give you this much money to do it.
Well, and Secretary, I want to stay on the bounties. Who is issuing the bounties? I know that you guys are looking into groups like Antifa. Is it linked to that, or who is issuing these bounties? What do we know right now?
Well, I'm going to be careful what I say, because we have investigations going on and these threats are out there. So I'm not going to give you specific officers, although they have been targeted towards specific officers and released their phone numbers or released their pictures. But it is gangs, it is cartel members, and known terrorist organizations, so foreign terrorist organizations as deemed by the president, but also ones that we have known for many, many years. And they are making sure that they know which officers are out there and being extremely effective, and they want to take them down because they want to try to stop the operations that are going that are keeping them from making money off their criminal networks.
Do you have any evidence that those same cartels are actually helping fund some of the protests themselves in terms of turning people out?
Well, we've been spending a lot of time working as a whole of government approach. And so I talked to Scott Bessent about this last night, and he's really helping us dig into the funding of these operations, where they're getting their money. When you're down there with these protesters and you're looking at them and interacting with them. I was in Chicago just 2 days ago watching these protesters and our officers engage with them. All the protesters are wearing the same gas masks. They're carrying the same kind of signs. Many of them were printed with the same font. They look like they came from the same company. To be that organized and have the same equipment to push back on law and order, you know that somebody is funding them and organizing them, and that they're being paid. What would all these individuals be doing, and how are they affording their groceries, their rent, their homes? When they're down on the street protesting at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and spending all day there just screaming horrible things at law enforcement, putting their hands on them and violating our laws.